What's up everyone? Last week I did a video on the 5 things that I love about my ZL1. Well, this time I'm going to do a video on the 5 things that I hate about my ZL1. So the first thing that I really don't like about my ZL1, and it's the first thing you notice when you get in the car, is the visibility. Now, a lot of the 5th gen Camaros, they have poor visibility, and I think the worst part about it is there's 2 spots it's hard to see. That's your blind spot back there, the rear pillar. I think that's called the C pillar. It's like almost impossible to see out of that back window there. It's a little tiny triangle. I don't know if you can see it in the video. The second thing, in visibility wise, is to my right. It's really hard to tell where that end of the car, the passenger side of the car, is. In fact, I actually I ran into a curb and hit my front wheel. So, you know, it's really hard to judge where, you know, that side of the car is, especially when you're going around a corner, you're trying to parallel park or something. It's very hard. Not as difficult on the driver's side, but the passenger side is just really bad. The second thing that I do not like about this car, I think it's pretty much the worst part about it, is the Chevrolet MyLink touchscreen, and just the whole infotainment system, as they call it. I'll tell you what, it's not the greatest touchscreen. And the sound system in here, you know, it's equipped with a Boston sound system, and I thought, oh hey, you know, it's got the upgraded sound system, it'll probably sound good. Well, it doesn't. I mean, the sound system in my Saturn Aura XR is way better than this. This sound system, I feel like, has like no low end. It's pretty clear, it's got a decent amount of clarity, but it's very MIDI, and it's not very loud either. You know, when I start to turn it up to the volume that, you know, I like, I'm a musician, so I like it loud, but it just doesn't, it starts to break up, and it just doesn't seem as clear as it would be, you know, at lower volume. So if I could change anything, it would definitely be the speakers, the sound system, and definitely this infotainment system. The third thing that I really don't like is the amount of brake dust that this car creates. Now, it kind of comes with the territory, you know, the brake pads are meant for the track, right? I can clean this car and drive it, let's say 20 miles. I don't even have to do any hard braking, just normal driving, and you can take your finger and wipe off a ton of brake dust. And by the 3rd or 4th time I've drove this car in between washes, those wheels went from shiny silver to pretty much gray with all the amount of brake dust on it. Now the front is way worse than the back, but the back is still bad too. You know, if you look on the back panels of my car, right behind the rear tires, you can see the black like dust, you know, accumulating on the side of the car. So some guys have changed out the brake pads to pads that create a lot less dust, but you know, then you kind of sacrifice the braking power and the whole point of having those really good brakes on here. The fourth thing I really don't like about this car is the tire life and all the rules that go along with that. GM states that you're not supposed to drive this car with these tires in any temperatures under 40 degrees. And you're not even supposed to store them in any temperatures under 20 degrees, because the composition of these tires are kind of compared to, let's say, a chocolate bar. So like when you put a chocolate bar in the fridge, it gets really hard, it cracks really easy, or even if you freeze it, right? Well, what happens when the temperature's hot with a chocolate bar? Well, it starts to become kind of pliable and it's sticky and stuff like that. That's exactly how these tires are, right? So basically, when it's 90 degrees out, these tires are awesome. They have a lot of traction and everything like that. When it's about 55, there's not much traction, and when you get down even close to the 40s, you know, that's just like, you might as well not even, it doesn't even matter. First 2 gears in this car are pretty much worthless, and even 3rd gear up in the higher RPMs, I still can, you know, spin the tires. Not only that, but the tire life. I have a little over 13,000 miles in this car, and this is my 2nd set of tires. I changed them out at about 9,000 miles, and like I said, I don't really track this car, you know, every weekend. I'm not beating the car. Now, I do drive it aggressively every once in a while, but I'm not doing anything crazy. So, but But that's the thing. That's the price you pay. You know, when you have a tire that has a very soft compound, they don't last as long as, like, say, a normal radial tire. But yeah, if I could change anything, it'd definitely be the fact that these tires, A, don't last long, and B, you can't drive them when it's cold. And I should say you can, but it's not safe. So the last thing that I really don't like about my ZL1, and it really doesn't have anything to do with the car itself, but it has everything to do with the people that don't know a damn thing about this car. And a lot of people hate on the car, and you know, it normally comes from like a lot of the import guys and even some of the Mustang guys. Like I'm a type of guy that I appreciate all different cars, and as long as you're a cool guy, hey, that's fine, man. But if you're gonna be an asshole, or you're gonna start talking shit on my car and stuff like that when you don't even know what the heck the car's about, well, you know, that's what I don't like. So I just wish people would do their research a little more, or hell, just keep their mouth shut. You know, let me tell you about the car. If you want to know something about the car, let me tell you about it. Don't sit there and assume like you know what this is or what that does. When the ZL1s came out, you know, there wasn't like a huge release. You know, not like the Z06 Corvette. Like, a lot of people know about that car and what it can do. Not many people know about this. And I think with the new release of the ZL1, I think it's gonna turn a lot of heads, and I think people are it's gonna open a lot of eyes in the car industry, and, you know, enthusiasts worldwide and stuff like that, or hopefully will develop a new sort of respect for just Camaro in general. They've come a long way. GM has built the Camaro from being, you know, an all-out muscle car to now a track car, and with supercar statistics. You know, you can't buy the amount of performance cheaper than this car gives you, especially if you get one used. You know, you're looking at like $40,000 for a car that can beat Porsche and Lamborghinis around the track. That's crazy. So that's the thing. You know, I just wish some people would just respect the car a little more than they do, and stop talking shit all the time. You know, everybody hates that. I don't understand that about the car industry or the car, you know, the car scene, but I guess it just boils down to jealousy. So yeah, that was the 5 things that I really don't like about my Camaro. I know I used hate. Hate's kind of a strong word. I don't hate the car at all. I love the car, but there are some things that I wish would change. So if you're stopping by for the first time, always subscribe. Be sure to like and comment. If you have any other questions for me, leave a comment below. And as always, have a good day.